We are now going to be discussing what the possibilities are in this result, even today. I have to my left, and I guess maybe to the right of the screen, a chartered stockbroker. If you have followed me so well on the radio in the last 1-2 years, and even this platform and in our workshop, definitely his face should not and will not be strange to you. He is Aruna Kebira, who is a trader with Global View Capital Limited. Aruna, happy Independence Day to you.
Happy Independence Day.
All right, how will you say the Nigerian market has performed? Looking at relative to the age of Nigeria, and then relative to the economy of Nigeria, relative to the population of Nigeria. All right? So how would you rate the Nigerian capital market? Of course, you trade
I think I will rate it that it has passed good 75%. Why? Because if you are talking about the New York Stock Exchange today, we know when it started from, about 80 something, and they have grown, they have fallen, they have risen up, they have learned their lessons, and they know exactly what they are doing. I think we have to go through the TT problem. And I believe that when we talk about 20 years from now, we know the problem we have and the issues we are having with the stock market will no longer be there. Because sometimes you learn from your mistakes.
As a matter of fact, when we look at the deployment of technology in the Nigerian market, I would say there's no market in the world that could, like we readily say, in my village, go and sit down. Even the New York Stock Exchange or the South African market cannot readily tell the Nigerian market in technology deployment, go and sit down. But in depth and in size, Nigerian market is still relatively small when we compare with a market.
I think that has to do with the knowledge and the participation of the nationals.
Yes.
Because if you look at in other climes, an average citizen know about the stock market. Yeah. An average citizen make money from the stock market. I believe that what I've actually, I would say, taught the people a lesson is the crash of the market. And a number of people are afraid to come back, even when you are trying to make them to understand that that is the way market is. And that is why the graph of the market is never straight. It goes up and it comes down. The only thing you need to know how to position yourself when it's going up. Also know how to position yourself when it's going down. At the end of the day, you'll be the better for it.
All right. That is Aruna's opinion. And if you ask me also, I think I want to just corroborate what he has just said. The Nigerian market started small and it grew gradually, even in technology, in pricing, in participation. As at the time we got to the market around that 1990 or thereabout, I can tell the number of stockbroking firms. I can tell the way trading activities on the floor of the Nigerian Stock Exchange were carried out. Some of them, we were young then, we would go to registrar, then there was certificate, and then you will have to sign the transfer form, and we take to the registrar. It would take like a week or more with the registrar, and then you go to pick it again and detach the certificate from the transfer forms, and we collate, gather all the transfer forms together, we stamp a portion of it, sign, and we take it back to the stock exchange. We call it noting. It will now return back to the stockbroking firm, and then we take the transfer form, we attach the certificate. When that has been done, we now put everything together, take, when it has been traded anyway, we take the document or the certificate and the transfer form, and then the buyer, we merge it together, we cover with the letter, we take it back to the registrar, and then reprint the certificate. After 3-4 months, we go there again to pick the certificate. So the investor will have to come back to the stockbroking outfit to collect the certificate. Very boring, very cumbersome. It takes so long. But now we have seamless process in the Nigerian capital market. The price mechanism, the pricing mechanism has also largely improved. But Aruna, I know at any point in time, the question in the mind of every investor will be, what do I buy? This one that I bought before, should I be selling now, or I should be holding on to it. And that is why our name is Stocks Watch. All right. So we like to supply such information. From what we have seen, we know so well now the period to expect, the result from Guarantee Trust Bank PLC. So we take all these companies one after the other. With what we have seen, first quarter, second quarter, with what we know Guarantee to be, all right, in the financial banking or financial market, rather, in the Nigerian financial market, what are your expectations as per the quarter 3 result from Guarantee Trust Bank PLC?
You know, it's like when you are taking a bet on a boxer. So a boxer that have done like 20 bouts, I have 20 knockout, and is about to go for the 21st bout. So it's simply a knockout. I believe that if you have followed the Guarantee Trust Bank, you should know that they have never come short from quarter to quarter, except if there is a problem, and I don't think that that problem is around them now. So definitely we see that the account will be looking forward.
All right, if that is your expectation, and today is 1st of October, the market is on holiday. This time tomorrow morning, the market will have just been left with just about 1 hour and 30 minutes to close. What do you think should be the decision of any investor when it comes to either buying or holding or selling the stock of Guarantee Trust Bank PLC? Please note this. You are not going to be quoted. You are just saying what you feel. It is not necessarily a recommendation. I know so well Nigerian investors, they are always looking for somebody to
hold. No, the
question say, I heard about me and Aruna talking. He said I should go and buy Guarantee. You are just expressing your sincere opinion.
No, the fact that the result is not hitting the stock exchange tomorrow, and there's every probability that the result is going to be good. What if it is me, I will be taking a buy position, because I know that even when the market is supposed to have a slowdown, if GT posts a very good result, at least there will be upward looking of the price. At least it's a situation that you can make 5 to 10%. And I don't think that as bad as this market is, that a 10%, 15% is any bad investment.
All right, we know fully well that the market is still largely descending for obvious reasons. But from what you have just said, all right, now it is good, it's a good time to buy the stock of Guarantee Trust Bank PLC. Let us say in the case of anything, because in the market anything can happen. In case I go to buy Guarantee and the price now falls below how much I bought, what do you think I should do?
It's you owed, because if you look at it, the 52-week low of Guarantee is 31.95, and it's trading about 35, 37 now. What the percentage down from where you are going to take position, assuming you take position tomorrow, to 31.95, is shorter than from 57 naira that is coming from. But ultimately, at the end of the day, Guarantee is still going to perform well, especially in the payment of their dividend, and the stock will look up. The market cannot be like this. The market will definitely bounce back on Guarantee. If it doesn't get back to where it's coming from, please get very close to that place.
But the truth is that from what I can say from the indicators here, in the last 5 trading sessions, the stock of Guarantee has been up on those 5 straight trading sessions. But we wait to see what the reality will be in the market. The best is to buy before results are released. Don't make the mistake to wait till results are released before you buy. When the results are being projected like what we are doing, this is about the best platform on the stock market you are watching right now. No other platform will even dare say some of the things we are saying or give you the kind of data we are giving you right now. I make bold to say it as someone that has been in the market consistently for about 28 years and running, right? You buy, you invest before results are released. And you buy based on expectation. Every investment is based or made on or against an expectation. When that result is eventually released, you will now determine whether your expectation has been met or not. Because most Nigerians do make the mistake. It is when results have been released that they will now rush. As at that time, the equity might actually be tired. And people like you with sharp eyes might probably be selling to them.
No, the fact that, I've likened the investment like a pool.
Okay.
An empty pool. Somebody who know that definitely the rains are coming. We go
Yeah.
to an empty pool and sit and are waiting the rain to come. But those that want the pool to be filled before they jump in, by the time the pool is filled and they are jumping in, you have already clean. You are going
They are
out.
going out. And as a matter of fact, they will be having their bath in the water that you once used.
Exactly.
So the water is dirty.
Yes.
you make use of
So
the clean
the
water.
thing is that to understand exactly when to enter, like we have just said before the release of the result, because definitely the release of the result will excite everybody.
Wow. I'm loving what we are doing on this Independence Day. All right. Zenith, what about that?
Yeah, Zenith is another very good stock, irrespective of the sentiment that is surrounding it. You see, what normally happens between Zenith and GT, there was a 10 naira margin, but it's like the margin has not grown.
All right.
The margin has grown, but I know that GT and Zenith, at times they move in tandem, because you discover that when you see the green blinking on GT, by the time you go and look at Zenith, you discover that if it's not up to green, which is 5%, there's something very close to 5% that Zenith is doing. And if I have to consider Zenith, I'll be taking a buy position too.
Zenith and Guarantee, which one will you be preferring?
For any yield, I would prefer Zenith, because the price to earnings is more than price to earnings to Guarantee.
And in the last 5 trading sessions, from what I can see here on this indicator, Zenith has actually made appreciation 3 days and 2 days of decline. And from what I can see on the some of the indicators here, particularly the stochastic, I can see Zenith still has some upward movement to make. But I can see that it actually very recently tested as low as 19 naira 70 kobo.
1960.
All right.
Yeah.
And as we speak now, it is 21 naira 40 something kobo. All right. That is on Zenith. We look at another here, United Capital. I believe that Peter Ashadi is a performer based on what he did in Africa Prudential PLC. What are your expectations? And that is not to say that the woman there before, Mrs. Sonny, was anything underperforming too. She did well. But I just believe that Ashadi is going to be... my sentiment lies there. I see Ashadi performing far better than what we have seen in United Capital before now. Quote me.
If I want to talk about UCAP, I should be looking at this price.
Yeah.
It's trading around 2 naira 85 kobo, which has been the 52-week low. So it just means that the UCAP have nowhere to go down, to go up, because that is where it has its support. So I believe that from at 285, the only place that UBCAP is going up.
I can see that UCAP really has fallen so low. It got to as low as 2 naira 74 kobo on September 12th. All right, and from there, it has also touched about 2 naira 98 kobo. See, there is a lot of margin for someone who could just pick the lowest level and then enter
at
into
least
it.
At 3 naira.
Incidentally, we also prompted on this platform, even in a decline market, which means in a declining market rather, which means that whether the market is going up, if you know your strategy where you make money, and if the market is also declining,
you make money when market is going up. You also make money when market is going down. It depends on the strategy that you want to use, that you have deployed to use.
And from this level, I say expect using stochastic alone. You don't use just one indicator. You use quite a number of indicators. But from this stochastic that I'm seeing, it is still possible that UCAP will make some good. But one thing I found out in UCAP is that often when they release their result, no matter how good the result might be, the price has always refused largely to yield consistently, it will just move up as if, and then decline. Why do you think it is
It's
so?
because the expectation, so much expectation is built into the price. The price has already reflected the result that we are expecting. So that as at the time, just like at 274, anybody that is holding UB cap at 274 and the result is now released and is getting to 320 kobo. When other people are coming in, it's going out.
We talk about Transcorp. You see, there's something funny in this stock. A couple of years back, I can't remember whether you were at the workshop or were you there, or I can't remember. And the man said when he saw the price of Transcorp at 50 kobo, and it was there for an elongated period, he said he went to the hotel in Abuja and he asked them one question: do people still lodge in this hotel so that all the rooms are filled? He said the answer was yes. And he said to himself, if only the assets, the major assets that Transcorp has is that hotel, we know that they still have so many others. They are in power. They are actually even oil. They have oil fields that has not even been touched at all. And I have someone that told me in confidence that, Abayomi, that if it takes 20 years for Transcorp to eventually begin to look at their oil well, he said he's waiting. So even if the price comes to zero, he's waiting. And he knows why he's waiting, because eventually it's going to be bountiful harvest for them. And so the man bought at 50 kobo. Do you know that he eventually sold at about 6 naira? That's talking about Transcorp. They have said that their Q3 report is going to come around October 18, and we saw a fantastic second quarter report from Transcorp. What do you think our viewers should be doing with our Transcorp now?
There is one thing that I have always fought for Transcorp. I think I have discussed with some of my brokers, and they say they pay 5 kobo. And I've asked them question: is it 5 kobo that you have been making you to take position in Transcorp? No. I think most investors take position in Transcorp because of the volatility. Transcorp came as low as 105.
Yeah.
It's trading about 125, 127. And this same Transcorp have gotten to 2 naira 58 kobo.
Yes.
So when you look at the difference between the 52-week high and the 50-week low, it's a shocking. But the only thing I will ever tell anybody that is taking position in Transcorp, it might not make it 30 days. You should just make it and wait for them to release their result. And I think it's going to be fantastic.
Right. That is talking about Transcorp. What about Africa Prudential? I spoke with the managing director, the new managing director of Africa Prudential PLC. And indeed, this guy is young. I can see him that he does not want to move, he wants to fly. There were questions I put to him that we did not actually broadcast. From what we have seen there, the guy really wants to move. He doesn't. He wants to fly. He doesn't want to move. He doesn't want to walk. He doesn't want to run. And he told me quite a number of things that we'll begin to do, that the organization will begin to do from early 2019. But now, talking about their Q3 report, which will come in around same October 17, 18, 19. What are your expectations?
You know what some people will going to do next? To look at their Q1 and Q2 and simulate what their Q3 may likely be. As far as that is showing positive, they don't even want to wait for the Q3. They go and take position, because UCAP and AfriPrud have been the same boat. They never disappoint.
Now, Custodian Investment PLC, used to be the old Crusader, old Custodian and Allied, and then they came together. They are, when you talk about pension funds in Nigeria today, one of their pension, the one belonging to them, is one of the most vibrant. Meanwhile, before the end of October, I promise that we are going to be doing a review of performances of PFA. You need to be a part of that episode on this platform. What are your expectations?
If you look at the pricing in insurance on the floor of the Nigerian Stock Exchange, you can agree with me that custodians are not lacking. And I don't think they are releasing of results to us actually disappointed any market operator. In fact, what people will be looking at is, like I just said, they do a small look at their quarter one and quarter two and prorate what their quarter three may be.
But Aruna, from what I can see on these indicators here, the price is actually looking down because it made a major loss of 7.4% on Friday. And as a matter of fact, the last time the equity gained was on September 18. All right. Thereafter, he went comatose. He slept for about 3 days, again came up and lost, and then slept for another day and came up again and did a major loss. And if you look at it, the stock is more or less not that active. If I can see, you can see the scattered green panels here, that it has made more losses and then going silent than the green days.
But do you know that the market bargain alters always look at price that would have shed like 10 or 20% or 30%? They know that the moment they take position, they might gain that 20 or 30%.
Wow.
So they may be able to be trusted because it has lost. As far as they are concerned, it may be, compared to their result, it may be cheap.
All right. I don't know, we still have about maybe 10 minutes or thereabout. But I want us to look at the major subsectors between January and September, the first 9 months. And what I like to do often is to look at the basic subsectors, and this will give you access to where you should concentrate your efforts. All right? From what I can see on the table here, we are going to be showing it on the screen. We have the All-Share Index of the Nigerian Stock Exchange. Every other sectoral index will have to be rated in proportion to the performance of NSE ASI. In other words, in the first 9 months of 2018, the All-Share Index of the Nigerian Stock Exchange declined by 14.32%. Any other sector indicator that did lower than that will have outperformed the market. And all those other ones that are losing above that, they are underperforming the market. From the analysis we have been able to do, and we make bold to tell you that this is accurate because it took us time to work on it before we are releasing it to you. We can see that premium, NSE Premium Index, NSE Insurance Index, NSE Pension Index, NSE Oil and Gas Index, and NSE Banking largely performed better. And the best of them is the NSE Premium Index that lost 8.14% year to date, January to September, while the All-Share Index of the Nigerian Stock Exchange declined 14.32%. All right, but in the month of September, the market lost 5.97%, and NSE Premium lost 6.80. I think it's only banking, oil and gas, and pension that performed better than the market in the month of September. So if you, as you are looking at these figures, what would be the areas you would readily say investors should look out for maximization of returns?
Let's first of all understand that the premium. We have banking who are in the premium. We have oil and gas who is also in the premium.
You have industrial.
You have some stock in a premium that are also in PFA.
Yes.
But I think what I should say, if I would have said that, why don't you look at taking stocks in their isolation? Individual stocks.
So not necessarily on sector
yes,
basis.
the individual stock, because from the analysis that you have said it before, that when you send the kid to go to school and it fails, it will go and hide. But a kid that passed will carry the report on the side that be shouting from a distance because it's proud to show it. And all these releases of results are what matters most even in the market, because like we have always said, that if you refuse to supply information, the market will fill in the gap.
And it reminds me when you talk about those kids that want to hide their result. When we were young, we used to sing the song. Permit me for my Yoruba, this afternoon. They do sing, Mama Mupasi, Eran Lufi Kadimije. Mama, I actually did well. I actually passed, but a goat has eaten up my report card. Just an excuse not to show the parents that in actual fact
that they failed.
They failed. All right, let's look at the best of the stock in 2018 year to date, and we'll be very brief because we have just a few minutes more on this platform, but I'm enjoying myself. It's like we should just continue for the next 2 hours. I just wish LTV can just give us 2 more hours so that we can celebrate Nigeria independence better, giving information that will create wealth to the populace. All right, CCNN, what do you have to say about them? People keep complaining the Nigerian stock market is bad, but year to date, in 9 months, without you carrying, without you sweating, 166.2% in price performance alone.
No, I think it has to do with their combination with BOA. And the rate at which the combination was done. A number of people have the belief that the coming in of BOA is going to impact positively.
And it has impacted positively in their earnings. The company has been performing relatively well.
So, in fact, they know what with the price of today is for the performance of tomorrow. They are taking position to look at what they are going to do tomorrow.
Though in the month of September, it lost 18.12%. C&I leasing, one of the best so far, so good this year, 134.11%. And even in the month of September alone, C&I leasing grew by 20.80%. Even
you see, I like C&I leasing because whenever they have news, they release it straight to the market. They've just released to the market. They've acquired 2 tugboats. So people begin to look at, if you add that tugboat to their operation, what is it going to generate? That means it's going to impact both on their top line and on their bottom line. So that is where that is why people will be taking position and the price will be looking up.
As it stands today, let us look at the indicators. Of course, we are not able to show it. I think it is shrinking, but it has gained so well from what I can see here at the time, a low of around 2 naira 40 something kobo, and then it recovered and till around 3 naira 2 kobo. All right, it has grown well. But I can see this shrinking, except if the information they released to the market last week, I think either Thursday or Friday or so, will now prepare an improvement
from tomorrow
in their price from tomorrow. What about QTs? Very fantastic result. 1-for-1 bonus. They are the only one that has done that this year.
In fact, the way I've been talking about cuties is as if I have I have interest there. Because if you actually look at it, I was telling somebody cuties at 4 naira. Let's assume that that after the markdown of the dividend, they come to 4 naira. Then they now mark it down for the scrip, and it's not 2 naira. Cuties is a stock that cannot stay at 2 naira. The worst cuties was trading about 2 naira 80 kobo when the news hit the market. So there's no way cuties will stay at 2 naira. The word that cuties can go back to is 3 naira. And that means that you have gotten each of your stock at 2 naira. And by it reversing back to 3 naira, that is 50%. And the markdown is just this October.
Then name insurance, an insurance company, and the performance 80.72% be as a result of the special placement with preferred buyer that they already got.
I understand. I even understand there was a big investor on the back of NAME who almost took over NAME. If not for that, the management rose up and have to
Okay,
stop
that which happened during the annual general meeting the other
hostile
time.
takeover.
Yeah.
I think you know, the more you mop the shares of a company,
The more the
the
price
more
goes.
the price goes. I think that would have been what they did. That would have been what would have helped the growth.
Aruna, what
in
is moving the
percentage
price of Unity Bank?
I would have just said this
Market,
market gyration, because like what market normally look at, if you look at Wema, if you look at Unity, if you look at Sterling, including Skybank, they used to move it, and then the market will just look at these prices are cheap, especially those that are selling below 50 kobo, and these prices are cheap. Before you know, the market will be moving it.
The last one we'll be able to talk about is Fitsin Healthcare. The company refused to come down largely this year. In the month of September, the worst that happened was a marginal loss of 2.44% as against 62.12% growth between January and September of the year.
Do you know that fixing has, I used to call it a stock that have 9 life. You can see fixing on offer for 2 days and you refuse to establish that low price. And before you know, the stock will look up again.
That is fixing.
That is fixing.
So what do you say? They did their annual general meeting last week, and maybe by Monday next week we'll also be taking on either the company secretary or major officer from the organization. We want to put our eyes on Fitsin Healthcare. Not only buy their drugs, but as we buy their drugs,
we take parts
also
of
take
the profit.
That is the wisdom that people don't
making.
know in this market. That when you patronize an organization because of their unique product, all right, the best will be go and invest so that strategically all the money you are spending on the organization's product can come back
at least
you.
Part of it, if not all.
If we now talk about marketing, which is neither here nor there, if you are a woman and you use Maggi as your seasoning, you should buy what company?
Nestle.
If you are a parent and you buy Bonvita for your kids, what stock should the person invest in?
That's Cadbury.
If you own a car and you enter into any filling station to refuel, what stocks do you think they should invest in?
Total,
Wando, and all the rest of them.
Conway.
And if you own an account in Access Bank, what stocks should you also invest in?
Buying assets.
So that you get your dividend back. So all those 1 kobo, 2 kobo, 15 kobo,
they charge it to your account. You get it back.
You get it back. All right. I've been enjoying myself since we started today. We just have the opportunity of maybe like 3-4 minutes to round off. All right. We talk about cheap stocks, but we're going to be very fast. Corn oil is cheap because it's selling as we speak 21 naira 90 kobo at its year's low.
It is. It's cheap. I've seen corn oil.
But why is the price not rising?
Over 50.
It has gone to as high as 28 naira, or even in fact 41 naira.
You know, we have said it before that a good stock in a bad market is a bad stock. A bad stock in a good market is a good stock. So the market forces have a way of moving prices and compensating even those that are laggards.
Wow.
That they help them to move.
Wow. We look at Dangote Cement. That is one equity that moves the market. Single-handedly, this stock will move the market up or down.
Anytime Dangote Cement move 5%, the market is bound to close on the green.
But it's selling at its lowest price in the year.
Yeah, I think I was during the week. I saw it moving to like 230.
All right, Guinness. What do you have to say?
Guinness, I was surprised when they brought Guinness to where it is. You see, as at the time Guinness released their final result and they are paying a 1.84 kobo. When you look at that performance, it was telling. It got to 99 naira the day it was released. Before you know, it began to retract a step. And I still have to believe that because of the market, not because of the performance of Guinness.
All right. The market, Dangote Cement is actually 2 naira 5 kobo as at Friday, from what I can see on the indicators here. Well, we still have much to say. If you leave Aruna and me here, We'll be here till tomorrow morning. But I want to say a very big thank you first to you, Aruna, for creating the time and for making this discussion so smooth, and I enjoy it myself. All right, and all the factors that worked in favor of us, the cameramen that I see, they're always moving around, and then the people that are giving them instruction from above. I can hear you very faintly, though I cannot see you. I want to say a very big thank you to all of you and every member of management of this organization. A very big thank you to you, and much more you that you are watching either on this platform now or on social media. I want to say a very big thank you to you. Quickly, 1 second, our time is off. Aruna, your number. This is public holiday, they can call you. I think you can attend to many questions.
My phone is always on.
All right.
My number is 002-300-9379. 002-300-9379.
So this is how we run off on this platform. Of course, I'm going to be on Radio 1, 103.5 FM. If you are in Lagos and we are in other 9 states aside from Lagos, you can connect with us. You can call for more details 0803 2244 723. I can remember that offhand, but other numbers are there. On this platform, by the grace of God, I'm going to be returning with better, explosive package next week, Monday, analyzing stocks, giving you the best of information on this platform. Until then, I remain yours sincerely in wealth creation, its accumulation and preservation. Abayomi or Babolijo. God bless you. Enjoy the rest of your holiday and don't change this television channel. They are the best.